In this episode of Daily Bodybuilding News Live, we discuss CBUM. Is his bicep 100% healed from using peptides and also stem cells? Plus, we have physique updates from Flex, Lewis, what he looks like now, plus a ton of guys that are competing in some upcoming shows. So we've got all that, plus much more, coming up in this one, guys. Hope you enjoy it. What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back for another video. And if you guys like and appreciate this content in the Daily Bodybuilding News Live, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up for myself, Xavier Wills, here at Desktop Bodybuilding. And I will plug my headphones shortly as well, because I just realized they're not plugged in and I'm going to need those to show you guys some of the video that's in this one. But let's get straight into these updates. And Michal Krizo, we've got an off-season update from him looking absolutely enormous. I think he's training a bit of triceps in this one, maybe a bit of chest as well. I can't quite, actually no, it's a bit of shoulders, I think, and triceps, and absolutely ridiculous. And you've got to remember as well, Michal Krizo has made some huge gains on his physique basically over the last few years, because he's always that freak that used to compete in the other federation, the IFBB Elite. But then he sort of, he's always freaky, but we don't really realize how much freakier he's got coming to the IFBB initially and since then. And you can see it in these recent physique updates, and he is an absolute monster at this point. He's got a really small waist, so he's a monster with a small waist, sort of like Big Ramy was in a way. He does have some deficiencies in his physique. The back double bicep, the back just needs to get bigger overall, but he's added more density to that, and he's shown the ability that he can gain muscle. He's gaining muscle everywhere by the looks of it, including on those arms, which are absolutely ridiculous. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Michal Krizo can make a jump this year and jump into the top 10 of a Mr. Olympia? Or do you think structurally he can't quite make it up there? I think he looks absolutely phenomenal right now. And if he can continue to improve, continue to get that back better, and continue to improve his stage presence, he's going to be very, very dangerous going forward, in my opinion. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below about that. And I'm about to share my screen because I've got some really cool updates for you guys as well from tons of competitors. So we're going to go to those before we get to the Flex Lewis story and also the Chris Bumstead story as well, where he speaks on if his biceps 100% fixed, which he believes it is. Also, I've got a poll up right now if you are watching live, so make sure you vote on that one. It's about Chris Bumstead, and if you think that his career will be ended by injury, or if you think he'll retire first. But let's get into some of these physique updates, and this is a poll as well, which I'll address at the end of this video. But Nick Walker is our first update. Obviously, he's prepping for that 2023 Mr. Olympia. He says solid leg session at Fit Club, Las Vegas. They want bigger legs. We will give it to them. Tracking progress through basically through his app, and then he talks about it a bit there. But you can see there, whatever he's doing, there seems to be more roundness to his sweep. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just with a bit more body fat. Maybe it's a combination of a little bit more muscle there, plus a little bit of body fat. But he seems pretty structured. Apparently, he was doing like a push-pull leg sort of a split. I don't know if he's still doing that. There's a bit of conjecture whether he's doing it or not still on the latest episode of Bro Chat. But you can see, whatever he's doing, currently it is working. So I'm very excited to see what Nick Walker does at the 2023 Mr. Olympia, and I actually put up a post yesterday on the Desktop Bodybuilding Instagram. I actually shared this post specifically, and I did say I would count out Nick Walker. I meant to say I would not count out Nick Walker, because this guy is a workhorse. He's proved people wrong time and time again. Yes, he didn't win the Arnold Classic in 2023, but he's a legit contender for the next year. But let me know your thoughts. And you can also, I love what he's doing here. He's actually logging in this app, letting you know the weight, how many reps, any joint pain. It's cool to get this insight from IFBB Pro Bodybuilders. But let me know your thoughts on that below. Now, Charles the Definition Griffin. This dude is absolutely ridiculous. He always looks crazy in his physique updates, but he's got a new level of, I suppose you'd say, conditioning, plus he's brought that midsection in. He's really, I suppose you'd say, you know, how a basketball player will, you know, add a 3-point shot later in their career because they're, you know, they're getting a bit older or whatever, and they develop their game. He's really developed his game as a pro bodybuilder, and I love what Charles Griffin is doing, and you can see it in his physique updates. So shout out to Charles Griffin. I'm not sure what show he's doing this year, but the dude is an absolute freak, as you can see there. And for those who love the freaks with a vacuum and an improved, I suppose, overall aesthetics, you'll love Charles Griffin. Now, a guy who's doing the New York Pro, and you might not know about him yet, but it's Nate Tello. If you know Jose Raymond, they're basically best friends. They work in, well, Jose works in Nate Tello's gym. And Nate, this transformation is insane. So this is 7 years, 34 to 41, to show that it's really not too late if you've got some aspirations to be an IFBB pro bodybuilder, because Nate is actually doing the New York Pro. So I believe he turned pro. I don't know if he turned pro at the North Americans or the Masters. I can't quite remember, but regardless, this dude has a great shape. I can't wait to see him compete and make his pro debut. And he's, you know, sort of an inspiration because he runs a very successful gym and he's a businessman. Plus, he's able to do the bodybuilding thing as well. I think there's been a bit of trade-off at certain times over the last few years, opening Gym Hub in Boston, which is really a great gym. So if you are in the area, go check it out. But he's made some very, very impressive gains to his physique. I believe this was 9 weeks out of a New York Pro. And you can see he's definitely well ahead of the game in terms of conditioning. So I think it's going to be a successful pro debut for Nate. I don't know if I assume he's in the Open. I'm not sure how tall Nate is, but I'm assuming he's in the Open. But correct me if I'm wrong on that, Nate Tello. Now, a guy who may be competing in the upcoming contest in the Arnold Classic Brazil, or Arnold Classic South America as it's most commonly called, is Sergio Oliva Jr. And you can see some footage here, and some people were saying that maybe he was downsized. I saw this as a question mark. I didn't get to see the video yet on Nick Strength and Power, but to me, Sergio definitely doesn't look downsized. He looks really thick here. I think Sergio, because he's a taller bodybuilder, he doesn't maybe look as impressive standing alone, but once you know that and once you've seen him stand next to other guys before, you can tell the difference. And I think Sergio is looking great. Now, this is just a black and white training video, but it's cool. I mean, I love the style. It's almost old school with the headband and everything, and it's almost like a cross between, you know, new school and old school. And he's out in that Binos gym out there in Dubai, and I'd love to get out there one day and check it out for sure. But Sergio, we'll look at these other physique updates, which have been shown in videos before, and we actually talk about it on the next upcoming episode of Bodybuilding University, which was just recently recorded. And you can see here that, you know, it's hard to tell. It's natural lighting coming in. You know, you don't know how good the lighting is, how bad it is. Is it making him look washed out? Is it not? So it's hard to tell. But Chris Bumstead makes a point here basically saying, how about a settle on pecs fuller? And that's definitely something I can notice by these latest physique updates. But let me know your thoughts on Sergio's latest physique updates in the comments below. Now, one guy that I'm very excited to see compete in the upcoming Classic Physique show, I actually had that show written down, but it's only, I think, 2 weeks away now, and that's Fabio Sylvain. I believe he used to go by Fabian Larabia. That might have been his acting name. Someone said in the comments. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but he's looking in great condition. Competed in the Open last year, and this guy's made some huge improvements, so I can't wait to see what he brings to the stage. And if you are watching this live as well, get in the comments. And one person has got in the comments and they said, no H in assume. It's not assume. I think that's because I'm Australian, so apologies there. But oops, that's the video that I'm watching right now. Apologies. But he's looking fantastic. He is shredded, which he needs to be because he was obviously Open last year, and he's going down to the Classic. But I think it's a good choice because look at that physique. I mean, I would love to see this in the Open blown up as well and keeping that waist, you know, at least somewhat tight. But if this guy can come into the Classic, I believe he's straight away a legit contender. And had there, you know, if there was no CBUM around right now, this guy is very comparable, somewhat at least, maybe not as round. Oh, video not playing. That's unfortunate. None of them are playing right now. That's very frustrating. Hopefully the stream is still working. Let me know if there's any issues with the stream right now, guys, but it appears to be working. And if you are watching this live as well, give the video a thumbs up, vote in the poll, leave your comments because that does help bump the video up because this one's actually a little bit lower on views than normal. But for some reason, that's not working. But he looks fantastic in his recent physique updates, and I think he can do damage. I think he'll qualify for the Olympia, and as long as he makes weight, basically. And I'll see if that works. Again, I'll just quickly update that. And let's see if we can get these videos to play. Here we go. And you look at that structure, it's absolutely insane. And he does have a little discrepancy between each leg, but it's not enough to worry about. The physique is just so crazy. You look at this, insane. And where's that other video that I want to show you guys? I want to show you this one specifically. So this only went up 14 hours ago. And this is really his weakness. I think he can pull those arms around a little. Yep, there we go. So that's looking pretty good overall. From the front, he's much stronger, but from the back, he's definitely improved his physique, and he has a certain level of hardness in that back now as well, I believe. Here's a video of him training back. So if he can add a little bit more meat onto that back, maybe even take a little bit off the legs, I think it will actually help his physique. Now, I wanted to discuss Flex Lewis next. I actually bring up the other video of this so you guys can see it a little bit easier, but it does have all the info on the screen there. But I'll bring it up here so you guys can see it a little clearer. And you can see, obviously, Flex Lewis downsized on what he used to be, but he's still got some impressive arms, still got, abs, still got impressive muscle. And I'll read out his update and what he said in that on his Instagram page. He says, physique update as of today, weight 200 pounds. He said lightest was 196 natural. Goal is 210 to 215 pounds. Healthy, athletic, jacked. So Flex Lewis is wanting to get up to his competing weight, really. So he's wanting to put on muscle, cardio 7 days a week, training 2 to 3 days a week. So I don't know if he's going to continue on 2 to 3 days a week or if that's just what he's doing right now. 4 to 5 meals a day. First and last are protein and fats only. Wake up at 4 a.m. Bed 9:30 to 10:30. So he's getting about 6 hours sleep a night currently. I'll just play that video for you guys again. He says, I've worked hard on losing just under 60 pounds of weight. So that's pretty crazy when you put in brackets natural. Over several months, and as most of you know, I'm not one for showcasing what I look like at the best of times in prep, let alone hairy off-season lol. But it's time to start and show my fans and followers the journey. I'm about 2 weeks in and things are starting to click. I am up a few pounds. Nothing has been consistent. As I've also been traveling the last 3 weeks, business to family time. And he says, if you missed my YouTube physique update, which we featured here on Desktop Bodybuilding and the Daily Bodybuilding News Live from 2 weeks ago, hit the link in the bio. There I was 198 pounds. So he's put on 2 pounds since then. So it seems like he's probably training more. And he mustn't have been training too much prior to that because he's only says training 2 to 3 times a week. Then he says, would you guys be interested in following me on this transformation? Absolutely. Who doesn't want to see Flex Lewis add 10 to 15 pounds of what I assume is muscle? And I don't think that he's going to want to add any body fat to this physique. I'd love to know if he actually wants to lose any body fat at all. I think he's at a pretty nice level to maintain and not feel like he's dying, at least. And that you can see my comment there. I said, that's how you retire. I put hashtag leader at the end of that. But it raises the question to me. Now, would Flex Lewis do the Masters Olympia at some stage? Now, I thought, how old is Flex Lewis? I went and checked it out. He's 39 years of age right now. We know the Masters Olympia got lowered to 40, but he's 40 on the 15th of November, so it makes him ineligible this year, unless it's a rule where you can turn 40 the year of the contest, because as we know, the date of this Masters Olympia can change around. Should you have had to have already turned 40 the year prior, or I assume it's the date of a contest, but we don't have the rules on that, I don't believe, right now, unless it's on the page, and I do apologize if I have missed that. But Flex Lewis, I mean, there is a 212 Masters Olympia. He wouldn't have to be enormous, in my opinion. Now, could Kamal drop down to that? Absolutely, he could, and do that next year. And if Flex came in, not big and hard enough, there is a chance he could lose to him. But Kamal, I believe, is starting to go backwards a little bit. But I think you could do something very mild. I mean, he was holding himself back doing the 212. Now, could Flex Lewis go, I'm actually going to jump into... Oh, well, I'm actually not sharing my screen with you guys, sorry. Here we go, you can see it on the screen now. 39 years of age, 15th of November 1983. So could Flex Lewis actually make a comeback to the Masters Olympia? I think that he could in an even downsized version, and then he would be the champ, and that's what Flex Lewis wanted to become. So I would absolutely love to see Flex Lewis come back. Is it in his plans? I don't know. I would love to get Flex on Bodybuilding University very, very soon. And I've been talking to a few people about getting a few really good guests on, because the next Bodybuilding University is coming out very, very soon. So make sure you stay tuned and check that out. Now let's get on to the main, main part of this video. And it's about Chris Bumstead and has he fixed his torn bicep. I'm just going to plug my headphones in here so you guys can hear what's going on, what Chris Bumstead actually has to say about this as well, because I wasn't expecting this and I saw it on a video. And I thought, I'll watch this just to see if there's any news, and there absolutely was. It was a video by Bradley Martin. I will put the link after this goes live in the description below as well. You can go check that out. But if you search Bradley Martin and Chris Bumstead, that should come up no problem. But let's check it out and let's listen to what Chris Bumstead has to say about how he's healed his bicep injury.
So what happens now with this? Is it just fucked up?
You can't tell. No, you can't tell. It healed and you couldn't even tell it happened. I got like stem cells and peptides jammed in it for a while and it was done.
Damn, that shit made that much of a difference? It also wasn't that bad, it seemed like.
No, it was a partial tear in the muscle belly, not off the bone in any part. Yeah. So
not like Larry Wheels. Larry
snapped
his shit.
Yeah, his shit got fucked. Kind of looks cool though. He looks like he has two big ass biceps.
So you heard it there from Chris Bumstead. He had peptides and also stem cells put in there, and he said you can't tell. Now, at the Olympia, you could definitely tell. It wasn't torn completely off and all that sort of stuff like a Larry Wheels, like they mentioned. But that's great. If you cannot tell whatsoever and there's no repercussions, hopefully there's no sort of thing, you know, how if someone sort of tears one bicep and they tear the other, a la Nathan Diasher at the moment, he's got 2 torn biceps. So hopefully we don't get that with Chris Bumstead, but if it's completely healed now, I don't think there's going to be any compensation in terms of his physique, in terms of favouring one bicep over the other one. But it's always a risk, obviously. And I wanted to ask you guys a question. I have put a poll up. I will check those poll results in just a moment. So get your votes in right now if you are watching live. And if you are watching after as well, leave your comments below and I'll get to as many of those as possible. And we will check the poll results from the YouTube community tab on my question on there as well, on who you most want to see win the Mr. Olympia. And I gave you guys 4 options, not the 4 that you guys really wanted. So I'll check out the comments on those as well. But as you can see in this photo, Chris Bumstead definitely has a bit of a hole in the quad. He's got that, obviously, that bicep injury. Who knows, he could have other injuries as well. He's got some health issues. So I'm wondering, will his injuries or health issues, I didn't put that in there, will they actually, I suppose, be the thing that forces Chris Bumstead into retirement, or will he retire without getting beaten at the Classic Physique Olympia? And that would be quite outstanding, and that would be reminiscent of like guys like, I'm trying to think of who just retired on top, Lee Haney. He was one that retired on top. Dorian Yates. Ronnie Coleman didn't, obviously. Jay Cutler didn't, obviously. Brandon Curry still going. There's a whole bunch of names in there as well. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Now I'm going to go to the poll results from this video. I'm just going to open them up on my screen. So only 17 votes in this poll, but do you think CBUM's injuries will end his Classic Physique Olympia reign before he retires? 100% have said no. So all of you believe that Chris Bumstead will retire basically, you know, when he decides to. He'll win as many titles as he wants to and then he'll decide to retire. I tend to agree. I believe he will retire on his own accord, and I don't think that he will be forced into retirement, because he has said that he wants, how many Olympias did he say he wants? He said he's not going for 8, 9 or 10. He's already got 4, so that means 3 more Olympias. I think he can hold these guys out for 3 more years for sure. And once he gets to those 3 more, does he want to become, you know, all-time tied with Ronnie Coleman? Obviously, it's a different division. I know that, guys. It's different. But he'd be tied with Ronnie Coleman and Lee Haney, and then it's like you got motivation to go on another one. But Chris Bumstead is so successful financially and also in this industry in general. He doesn't need to compete. He's got a legacy no matter what. So let me know your thoughts on that as well. And yeah, I'm going to go to the poll results from the YouTube community tab on who you guys want to win the Mr. Olympia this year. There's only 4 names that I gave you. I'm going to give you another 4 names tomorrow, so make sure you check out, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the Desktop Bodybuilding YouTube channel, and then you can, all these polls will be popping up right in front of you. I only just put this up before, 4 hours ago, 1.1k votes, and I said, who would you most like to see win the 2023 Mr. Olympia? And I said I'd add more than 4, but YouTube polls only allows 4 options. And I thought these 4 all have interesting stories if they were to win the Olympia, obviously. So Big Ramy, 22% of you said Big Ramy. 39% said Derek Lunsford. 35% said Samson Dowder. And only 5% said Brandon Curry. And I was actually wondering about this. And is it because Brandon Curry doesn't put himself out there as much? I'm not too sure. It's very interesting because I love Brandon, but I can see the stories around Samson and Derek. But if Brandon came back and won it, I believe he'd only be the second man to lose his Olympia title and actually win it back. And I believe it'd be the same story with Big Ramy as well, obviously. So that would be a cool story either way with either of those guys. Samson, obviously, he's got a phenomenal story. I just interviewed Samson about 12, 13 hours ago, maybe 14 hours ago. Really good interview. You guys are going to love that one, so make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Some real cool stuff in that. And then Derek Lunsford, obviously this dude could go on a massive reign. He's only 29 years of age. If he can win it this year, who's to say he can't just win, win after win after win after win. You guys might not want to see that, but that's definitely a possibility. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to get to your questions now, if there are any in the comments. Let me just jump back, and I'm going the wrong page constantly. And let's have a look. You guys are quiet in the chat today. You're talking about how I pronounced assume. Alexander Pulido says there is more chance of Ramy getting it back than Brandon. Yeah, I'm not sure who has more chance. I believe Brandon was really full last year. Like, he was huge. And people sort of forget that, and people are forgetting about Brandon because he didn't bring the conditioning needed to push higher, but he still placed 4th. He still placed ahead of Ramy, ahead of Samson. Should he have? Who knows? I mean, I think he definitely deserved to place ahead of Ramy. Samson, you can debate definitely from last year, but yeah, it creates an interesting debate. So thank you guys for getting on here, voting, liking the video if you did. And if you are watching a replay, make sure you comment, like, all that good stuff as well, and subscribe and hit the notification bell button so you don't miss out on any videos from myself, Xavier Wills, here at Desktop Bodybuilding. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in once again. This is Desktop Bodybuilding. I'm Xavier Wills, and we are out.